So,
Money, Godaken.
Yes.
money and Godaken. So when I bought my first Chokinzoku, it was just for a little over $1,000, which at the time was a great deal. Prices have since come down, so it's not that great a deal these days. But you joked about what was the thing you said? You said basically that once my four-figure cherry had been popped, you know, dropping $1,000 on a toy would be like nothing, no big deal at all.
Well, I don't know if it's that it's no big deal. It's that the first time you do it, like you think it's a big deal up until you do it, and then once you've made the purchase,
And
you're still breathing, the world's still moving, you know.
Everybody's okay, we're
Yeah.
still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Like the world didn't implode like you think it was going to.
I have confession. I have not broken that cherry.
Don't do it.
Well, see, I have kids in a house.
You do.
I have broken that cherry on the building that you're inside of.
This is true.
But okay, well, let's say that you were going to. Is there one thing that you would? Is there like a Radine toy left?
Yeah, yeah. If the Play Deluxe base showed up, I bet you it'll go over a couple grand.
Yeah.
You know.
And you'd throw down that much for it?
If I had the assets to, yeah. But my life doesn't roll that way right now.
And
I had to let that Radiant Bird, the flyer, go by. That went up pretty high compared to what I thought it would go.
Yahoo Japan is a harsh mistress.
Yeah.
Y'all should follow it.
Didn't we see
No,
one of
you
those
didn't.
Actually,
yeah,
I said
back at Forest Gang?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should have bought it back then because it was only like $500 back
Yeah.
then. But I wasn't thinking. At the time, I was thinking, oh, it's so much fun.
Right. The exchange rate was a hell of a lot better.
I know.
3 years ago, too. So. Yeah. And are you all done with Dairuga? I honestly, I can't think of anything offhand that you don't have.
For the...
That's known to exist, anyway.
Yeah, well, it's all, you know, bootleggy stuff.
Mm.
The official pieces that have been released, yeah, I have them.
Yeah.
If I want to get crazy, I could go for, like, the DX set that's all in one box as opposed to the 3 boxes. You know, that's a nice set. I might, you know, look into that at some point. But yeah, I'm pretty good with that. I still need like the Albegas Denjin box, the Japanese DX box, and then once I get that, I'll have all the Albegas stuff that's licensed and released. So Radine's just a few pieces. It's that missile firing, not the missile firing,
The flying one.
the flying one,
And
the
the
base.
And the Mexican Jumbo.
Yeah.
And of course Argus.
Argus.
Get in line.
There'll have to be like a warehouse find of Arguses before I get my Argus.
Yeah.
Between after like Tom and who has one? Chris?
Tom's the only one who has one.
Oh, all right.
That I know of. And I heard of a guy in Brazil who has one, but he wouldn't sell it because his father gave
Argus,
it to him as a
for those
gift.
people who don't know, it's a bootleg jumbo machinder that has the top half of Raideen in red with like silver decals, and then the lower part is like this pyramid that looks like the Ramble Giant by Takemi, that big kind of just kind of pedestal base to it, you know. It's rare as hell.
Yeah.
And
bizarre.
Yeah. But you know, Radiant, I'm not so. I mean, I buy the bootlegs of it, but there aren't a lot of. You know, it's not like the Dairuger stuff where there's 5 bazillion ones still being pumped out in Mexico, and I can go on eBay at any given moment and find a different color version of it. You know, the bootlegs out there aren't a ton of them. You know, bootleg Radiant stuff.
Oh, that you know.
I think in Korea,
stuff always turns.
I think once the Korea gate opens up somehow, like there's like still this big kind of wall between us and buying things on Korean auction sites.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Once that kind of floodgate is open and there's more talk between the collectors, you know, I think they'll find a lot of great stuff. Yeah. To open up a whole new world there.
Well, the guy I've been talking to over in Korea recently, he claims anyway to be like the best Korean collector, and he's shown me a ton of great stuff, and he's got like an excellent collection. But he told me that the Raideen that I sent to you a while back, which is a deluxe set with like a plastic and 3 die-cast Starzinger toys, and the smaller one you have, you said it was the same toy, right?
Yeah.
And then that weird one I showed you in the collection.
Yeah, that one I
found
don't have.
online.
Yeah.
He said that those were like the only 3 Raideen toys in Korea. So, but there were like model kits and stuff too. Wasn't there a model kit that Alex either sent to you or showed you?
Yeah, I mean they bootlegged the Bandai model kits, but I'm not a big kit person. I've kind of stayed away from buying kits. The box art's nice, but I really don't have a need for them.
Yeah.
You got to draw the line someplace.
True.
That's what we're here to talk about.
Where do you draw the line?
I think often the line is drawn for you. You know, that's more of the thing.
You know, the line is drawn when my wife says, You stop this shit or you're getting out of the house. That's where the line is drawn.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. You know, when you do get these last couple elusive pieces,
Yeah.
where do you go? What's the next thing for you? Is there a next thing, or? Because some people can stop collecting. They say, "Well, I have everything I want, and now I'm done." And as crazy as that sounds to me, they can do it. You know, I don't
think I'd be done. I definitely could see myself scaling back a bit. I mean, I'm in a fortunate position now where, you know, I just get a lot of stuff, you know, from manufacturers or whatever, and I don't have to lay out for them. So that need is kind of satiated pretty regularly. Even if it's not stuff I'm looking for, that kind of that getting need is still kind of taken care of.
Still put something on the shelves like every week or two.
Right, right. So it's kind of keeping me away from eBay a bit and allowing me to, when something does come up, to make a more authentic try at it. Whereas, you know, before I might be a little more spread out. But no, I mean, I think there are the core Grail pieces like that deluxe rating base and things like that. But there are other kind of, I don't want to say less hard to get pieces, but there are other pieces that I am looking for in my collection. There's still like 3 or 4 Dugram pieces I'm looking for. There's still some Orgus pieces I'm looking for. You know, there'll always be those lines to kind of fill in the gaps and continue on with that. They may not be super elusive, but I know they'll be there for when I have that point in my collection when I'll need to start looking for those things. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I do the same thing. There's things that I want, but they're out there enough that I don't have them because I could get them. As crazy as that sounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see those Ramondo writing joint model kits all the time, and they're dirt cheap, and I don't have them yet. And those are those things that, you know what, I'll get those when I've got kind of everything else that I need, because they're all over the place. You know.
And the difficult thing with that is sometimes the market dries up and you find yourself kicking yourself saying, I should have bought that when they were everywhere. And it's hard to predict what item is going to do that.
It's a lot to think about, America.
Or whatever country you're viewing from. We're international too.
We are international. That's not trying to be parochial like that.
Hi, Canadians.
We love Canada.
Yeah.
People from Poland.
So that's a lot of ins and outs to toy collecting, as you could tell. But if you're watching this far into the damn video, you're probably a collector yourself, so you probably know all this stuff.
Well, you think Dave's sexy?
Yeah. Well, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
Clearly. So what about you, Dave? Do you have any Grail tales?
Oh, hell yeah! I have, you know,
or would-be Grail tales.
Grail tales? You mean like having acquired Grails, or
well, that's
what am I looking for?
Well, either.
Well, everybody knows I'm looking for. I'm looking for a Grotta K7 and a Lensari Jumbo Machinder. Can't get either because they're super rare and expensive. Not going to happen for years, if at all. Beyond that, it's, you know, the Argus we talked about before and other crazy jumbo bootlegs. There's one from Peru that just showed up that I had to step aside on, which kind of annoyed me a little bit. But what are you going to do? Called King of the Jungle. It's a Go Lion.
Oh yeah.
It's basically the same as the Popey Jumbo, except for it has a beautiful, crazy, like carnival sort of box. It's great.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but and without naming names, there's only like 3 or 4 of you that are like targeting these same pieces.
That's the problem, and it drives me nuts because at least one of them I bid against. You know, like when something comes up, we don't really talk too much because neither one of us wants to back down, and so the price will go out of control, and it's just us fighting over it. You ever see those auctions where you look at it and you go, what the hell, why did it sell for that much? Then you click the bid history and it's 2 knuckleheads going at it? That's us. Because neither one of us will back off. But at least when we do it, it's something that's generally rare. You know, it's not like a super,
and I guess
like a Shogun where all of a sudden, I saw a Daimyo sell for like $1,200 one time, and you're like, what in the hell, you know?
Yeah.
But
and at least with you guys too, whoever wins it, if those items, at least you know who it's going to. You know it'll be kind of documented and shared once it's taken home, and you know you may get clues to how to get another one from that point forward. You know.
Yeah.